Welcome to XR Today. My name's David Dungay. We are here reporting live from Immerse Global Summit in the beautiful Madeira. I'm here with Maxim, Futurist, strategic advisor, film producer, a man of many talents. How are you doing, Maxim?
I'm very well, thank you.
Fantastic. So, Maxim, I really want to get into the Metaverse. It's a massive theme here at the show. You were on stage yesterday with Jay Latter and some of your other friends from the Metaverse, shall we say. Tell us, we're all thinking, how are enterprises going to get to the Metaverse? What are those challenges? What are those hurdles? Where do you see those challenges right now?
Interesting. I think that it's an amazing time in many ways because the technological solutions that are being provided are a kind of smorgasbord of options, right? It's this wonderful spread of technologies and platforms and service providers engaging and producing content, producing environments. I think the biggest challenge for enterprise level organizations is that there's this culture within those organizations of maintaining control. So what they really want to do is not really create a metaverse space, which would be interoperable and interactive. As we were just discussing on stage, you want gardens, not walled gardens. And they don't want to do that because the traditional socioeconomic paradigm for those organizations is one of control. So we create a service that we have complete control of from beginning to end. You pay your money for your ticket to the fun fair. Thank you very much. You've paid your money. You've had your experience. Go home. But that's not the metaverse. The metaverse is not walled gardens. It's open spaces. It's open standards. It's universal, interoperable technologies that allow your audience, your users, the people paying for their tickets to just move freely from one area to another. And I think that it's that paradigm shift that is really the biggest obstacle for enterprise level organizations. A lot of them are creating experiences that they're calling, excuse me, a lot of them are creating, frog in my throat. A lot of them are creating experiences that they're describing as their metaverse. And I think there's something deeply ironic about that title. It's not your metaverse. Yeah. That's like saying, we've built our mountain or our carness. You can't. The language is wrong. You don't build carness. You build a car, which is an example of a vehicle that fits within an existing system of technical and engineering standards that works within a legal framework that allow people to drive cars on roads. You're not making carness. You're making a car. And so I think it's important for these very large-scale organizations to recognize what they're creating is a metaverse compatible experience. They're not making a metaverse. They're not making their metaverse, right?
It's a really, really interesting one, right? So we're here at the IGS, and even when I came to get you earlier, you were having a conversation with a colleague, Jay Latter, about differences between mixed reality and augmented reality, bringing that back to the metaverse. Within the industry, we're still having this conversation of what it is, what it means for businesses. We need to agree between ourselves first.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked in and out of education for 25 years. And and we started our panel today with, hang on, what is a creator? It's very easy to get lazy with language. And they say 90% of philosophy is linguistics for a reason. Because I might say NFT, for example, and we begin a whole conversation about NFTs. We're actually talking about different things. And the conversation we had earlier with Jay Latter, who's genius, was, what's the difference really between augmented reality and mixed reality? And he and I so far respectfully disagree about, we'll have that debate later. But it's always helpful to reestablish and re-agree what the terms mean when we use them. And I think that, one of the things that we were talking about yesterday is that when people use phrases like I need or I must or I have to, they tend not to finish the sentence, right? They don't include in order to. So you have somebody that says, well, I have to create an avatar, full stop. And like, you'll cease to exist if you don't create an avatar. Like, your universe will end. No, you're creating an avatar for a particular purpose in a particular context. And what does that word even mean? And does it have to be an avatar that really represents you? Or could it be an avatar that's a completely different being? So with Vinci today, Sami Torba, she was talking about the character she created. Vinci is a super heroine in the metaverse. And as far as she's concerned, it's a natural extension of her being in the metaverse. It's amazing, right? But what do we mean by this word avatar? And then we're getting into brands, I mean, way back, it used to be that one of the critical components of branding for a major organization would be the exact tone, right? You had Pantone colors, and then we got into RGB and web color codes. And you have to, if you use the logo for an organization, it has to be exactly that color. Now we're building metaverse experiences. They're experiences. They're not just things that you observe. They're experiences that you have. You're right inside it. Even with 360 video, it's the same. It's a different thing. Now the context in which a brand is presented is also part of the branding.
So, I mean, for these businesses looking at the metaverse, how they can leverage it, for want of a better word, or connect with their audience in a different way, what's the answer? Where do they start that journey? Is it with a solution, as you say, focusing on the right thing, not just jumping in both feet? Where should they begin that journey?
Well, I think it's a truism that you plan best by planning backwards. So the important thing is to be clear about the outcome that you want to achieve. If your outcome is to improve engagement with a brand, it might be that creating a metaverse experience is not ideal for you. We saw some amazing, let's say, pre-metaverse, if we can say that meaningfully, pre-metaverse experiences like pop-ups and flash mobs, right? So you'd have these flash mobs would appear out of nowhere and do a dance in a public space, and everyone's taking photos and sharing them on social media. And there's this fantastic engagement, this sense of euphoria, this sense of authenticity, almost a sense of kindness, like, hey, let's just celebrate life. We're just going to enjoy being alive and dance in the street. There was something about those original early flash mobs that was very honest. Was very real. Like, we really mean it. We really mean to do some crazy creative thing. OK Go, the band OK Go, these amazing music videos. I think over time, there's this danger that attempting to participate in these new technologies and platforms can begin to feel cynical. And audiences are incredibly sensitive to that. It's like uncanny valley. Like, they know, it seems like everyone's smiling, but they're smiling because this is the fifth take of them doing this recording. The smile isn't real. It's not in the eyes. And I think it's crucial that organizations seek to authentically connect with their audience and not try to just act like everyone else is. Like, oh, everyone's doing the polka, so we should do the polka too. No, you should find a way to express your brand, find a way to engage with your audience that is in the service of your audience. It's empowering and engaging and uplifting for them. And don't just use these platforms as an opportunity to brag about how great you are as an organization, as a brand. No one cares how great your brand is. What they care about is living a good life, being happy, connecting with people, falling in love, eating nice food, maybe having a nap, right? They want to have nice experiences. So if you can identify the outcome you want, which is going to be probably some change in the way some people feel about your organization or themselves, that they frame themselves in a world where you matter to them. Well, if that's your outcome, you need to think about their needs, not your organization's needs. Create something for your audience, not for yourself.
Absolutely. So obviously we're in a bit of a mind meld of the industry over this week. What's been your biggest learning or takeaway that when it comes to the metaverse? What are you going to take away from this event this week?
Man, I mean, the food's been good. I think there's a couple of things actually that have really impacted me. One is I just love this community. Every single person that I've spoken to has had something amazing to share. They've had new dad jokes. Everybody is kind. Everyone's a hugger, right? And that sounds really cheesy, but life is hard, right? And what we're trying to do is non-trivial. We're trying to create abstracted layers of conscious experience for beings that exist in multiple dimensions and forgot to have coffee this morning, right? So life is difficult, and it's amazing to have a community that seems to me to be truly, it's like the maker community, right? Everyone's truly just trying to make things better. And on that note, I think the second thing is, it was something that Joao said just now on our panel on the creator community, that what's the point unless you're trying to make things better? And every single organization, every single individual that I've spoken to, not a single person has said, like rubbing their hands together, yes, I found a great way to make loads of money and I'm going to use my audience to steal their intellectual property. That is a conversation I've never had with anybody in this community. Every single person says, hey, we were inspired. We had this idea and we were just thinking, what if? What if we could do that? What if we could, I'm trying to remember the Kennedy quote, what if we could fly to the moon with alloys that haven't been created yet and technologies that don't exist, not because it's easy, but because it's there? You know, everybody has this attitude of lifting up. And I think we need more of that. I think it's good.
Absolutely. I totally agree. Maxim, it's been fantastic to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming along and sharing your insights, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay, on XR Today.